the 406 Tech Talk. It's just Ann and I today, so we're having way too much fun.
Yep, and we hope that you will too. We're going to get to talk about some really cool tools, and hopefully without the guidance of our third party here, Desiree, we will be able to fight out some things and help you decide which is the best interactive device for you. Yes. So where should we start? First of all,
go for it.
It's cold outside.
Oh, it's freezing.
And I know a lot of kids that I've been into rooms this week have been stuck inside on indoor recess.
Yes.
Interactive tools and stuff can be really useful for these indoor times.
Absolutely. It gets the kids up and moving. It also just engages them and adds an element of fun that sometimes is needed in the school day.
So we're going to provide you with a list of some interactive sites that we like to use. Whether you have an interactive device or an iPad or not, there's a collection of websites that we have that would be good for even just a computer center, or if you can get your hands on a couple computers for those indoor recess times. Some educational but really fun tools that the kids can get on and use interactively or on computers. So maybe we should back up a second and talk about what we mean by interactive.
I think that's awesome. I think there's a huge misconception of what interactive systems are. I think people think that they are smart boards and that's it. And interactive systems are so much more.
One thing that I want to know is, how does it all work? You know?
Ooh, and I don't know that answer.
I don't know that answer, but we do know somebody who might know.
Meet the incredibly busy and incredibly smart person who works behind this array of screens. This is Wes Miller, the guy we technology integration specialists hunt down when we have a strange question like, how does that thing work? When he's not busy answering our technical questions, Wes is behind the scenes working on state reporting and special projects for our district. Because of all the computing power that goes on in this office, a chat with Wes involves a lot of background noise, mainly in the form of fans that cool the room. Sometimes it's interrupting fans, like me, who want to know what these guys are working on behind all those screens.
My name is Wes Miller. I am primarily responsible for state and federal student information. I'm the manual interlink between the state's student information system, which is called AIM, and our information system here, which is PowerSchool.
Even though Wes didn't take a direct hit from all of the new devices and equipment, his desire to learn, paired with his curiosity about all things technical, helped him to stay in the loop about how all of the new things we did get actually work. And so I asked him, Wes, how does interactive technology work anyway?
A whole lot of wireless. With the smart boards that we use, the interactive projectors, it tends to be RFID.
What's that you say?
Radio frequency identification. Of course, the pen just responds, it tracks it, and watches where it's going. With the advent of Bluetooth, the lower powered wireless radio system, we have active devices, which are little remotes that the kids can hold and answer questions. Those generally work on Bluetooth, just a short range, low powered wireless radio system. So we can use that for the interactive questions, which I just think is completely cool. As from when I was in school, I graduated high school in '99, which doesn't seem like that long ago, but in terms of where technology has gone and what we're doing for the students, it's miles and miles away. It's just tremendous the things that we do.
Since things have come so far in the few short years since Wes has been in school, where does he see technology taking us in the next 10 years?
The next 10 years, it's almost hard to imagine because it came so far in so little time. It's just really tough to say where it could go. I mean, definitely technology is going to play an increasing role. We've seen that, and it's not going anywhere. I think as more technology comes into play, I mean, we've already seen a little bit of it with the reporting that I do. One of the things is it's become more and more electronic. This used to be a process that was done entirely by hand when I first started working with the district. So I think as the technology comes more and more on board, I think my job's going to become easier to at least get things where they need to be and find what I need to find, whether it really becomes.
And so it's back to work for Wes. If you happen to be lucky enough to see him out and about, be sure to thank him for sharing his talent and his knowledge with the rest of us, and for helping our district to keep running smoothly.
You can contact him as with any of our texts, is through
the help desk. Yep. And if a problem is such a need that it needs to be elevated to Wes, it's definitely a big problem. But Burke, when those come through him, will shoot them out to the right people, us included. So if you would like us to visit your classroom or come and help present at a staff meeting or a PTO meeting, fill out a help ticket and we'll be there. Or, you know, if it's something more serious, maybe we'll send Wes there.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a couple of interactive products. And one of the things that I got to do a couple weeks ago, we were invited to an event at Arrowhead Elementary where they had a technology extravaganza, and to thank the community for passing the mill levy and to show the community members how they were using their levy dollars. They put on an event where the teachers were invited, and every room had kids there displaying how they and their class use the products.
That's very cool.
I want you to see a little clip of how that all went down.
Arrowhead Elementary recently hosted an exciting event showcasing the incredible technology that is being implemented in their building. Thanks to the passage of the District 2 mill levy last spring, Arrowhead was able to invest in several interactive projectors, document cameras, iPads, and teacher computers. In conjunction with additional support from a very active PTA and fantastic parent and community involvement, Arrowhead has become a leader in 21st century learning and teaching. Principal Pam Meyer explained why their building's technology committee was interested in hosting this event.
Our tech team got together and decided what's a great way to showcase everything that we've learned, and so we decided let's do this tech extravaganza where our parents come and they can kind of choose between 9 different teachers and different topics, and they get to choose what they want to kind of look for and see what we do every day at Arrowhead with our kids and the new learning that's happening with technology.
Right in the heart of the school, librarian Don Casey demonstrated how students could check out eBooks, not just with the school's Chromebooks or other computers, but with students' very own tablets, laptops, or other devices.
For kids here, they just need a Wi-Fi connection.
5th grade teacher Vicki Eagle used interactive Web 2.0 tools, ThingLink and Easily, to have her students create multimedia presentations for their Lead 21 inquiry projects.
And I have this website right here.
Linda Ock's enthusiastic 4th graders eagerly explained how the use of Google presentations allowed them to model concepts to their classmates.
You can search and you can upload from your computer. Searching is very quick and easy solution.
Mrs. Ock's 4th grade teaching partner, June Jaworski, and her eager volunteers had the opportunity to demonstrate how they use their Mimeo interactive projector, along with Mimeo notebook software, to do everything from take lunch count and attendance to build student engagement in learning and practicing math concepts.
I'm one that's 1/2. So you know you have that right because it stayed. Riley's got it right.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the wall, 4th grade teacher Shannon Moore demonstrated the use of the smartboard and its power to engage her students with their curriculum.
Right here. So say for instance they're writing 2,564 plus 1,472.
Sarah Kane demonstrated how she and her 3rd grade students used the Mimeo projector to interact with their Lead 21 reading curriculum.
And I really like the preview coach. Welcome to the preview. And highlights things that we've been working on.
Just down the hall, Brianna Gleason modeled how she uses a Mastery Connect program to garner instant feedback about her 3rd graders' understanding.
Make sure that this part is in. They just make sure that they can see it in the little box, and then it scans.
For those who have never been inside the halls of Arrowhead Elementary, it may surprise you to know that the school does not have actual walls. 3rd grade teacher Katie Pala seems to take this to heart as she digitally transports her students far outside the boundaries of her classroom, making global connections with scientists, authors, and other students through the use of Skype. Having her students blog, Katie brings home the reality that her 3rd graders are part of a world that stretches far and wide.
And one of the goals and the reasons why I do that is a lot of kids, I think, don't always learn how to use these tools appropriately.
Stepping back what Katie does by 2 years, learning is an active event in Tiffany Hall's 1st grade classroom. With iPads for every student, a classroom response system, an interactive projector, and more,
These first graders are able to fully engage in their learning while learning to become digital citizens. It's an investment that has come through grants, partnerships, and professional development, where the students are the ultimate recipients of innovative teaching. So the other big interactive pieces that we've been dealing with this year are the interactive devices and projectors that actually allow you to come up and touch and feel the board and interact with content up there. And probably the two or actually three major ones that we've dealt with this year are the Mimeo system, the Hitachi, which came with
Starboard software,
and Promethean, because we've got one school
which has Active Inspire software.
Right. So the first one that we want to showcase here is the Mimeo.
Yes.
And there's a 4th grade teacher there's lots of teachers all over the district who are using Mimeo, but Cortney Falcon is a 4th grade teacher who has used Mimeo to really bring her kids into the mix as far as not just the learning but the teaching. When it comes to classroom technology, Burlington Elementary School's Cortney Falcon has a full setup. Through a 21st Century Classroom grant, she received several interactive tools, including an interactive projector, a classroom response system, a document camera, and a classroom audio system. As a first-year TILT teacher, Cortney is excited about integrating technology into her curriculum, but truth be told, she's been doing it for years. Using all of the classroom computers and Chromebooks she can round up, her students interact on a wiki and use their Google accounts to create documents and presentations. When she considers all of this technology that has worked its way into her classroom, she explains why the interactive component has made the biggest impact on the teaching and learning that goes on in her class.
Everything about how I teach has changed. I create lessons with Mimeo votes and the kids get excited. They can't wait to vote on the questions, so every lesson I've incorporated Mimeo votes into. And the lessons have interactive parts where the kids come up and play with the board and move answers into correct categories, and they get excited. That's the key, they get excited.
Although Cortney received a Hitachi short throw projector this year, which comes with Starboard interactive software, she has chosen to use Mimeo interactive software instead. The Mimeo Connect website includes an extensive library of lesson plans for interactive whiteboards. The site also includes a forum for educators to create and share lessons for any subject, from letter recognition in the primary grades to factoring and multiplying polynomials in high school.
We do a dice, and we can tap it and it rolls. The computer rolls it for division, because we're doing 3 divided by 1.
Cortney uses the Mimeo Notebook software to create lessons in which her students can interact. She uses the Mimeo Votes to create formative assessments that guide her teaching. Knowing in an instant whether her students are grasping concepts has helped guide her instruction in a more meaningful way. This fact doesn't go unnoticed by her students either.
Like there's, you get to choose an answer up there that shows how many people voted for what. Plus you can see our grades from our Mimeo Votes.
Pull up their grades and compare them to how they were at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the unit and see how their grades are.
Cool? Yes. Informative? Definitely. Engaging? Absolutely. But the real plus?
Well, it's funner.
And how can you argue with that?
Ta-da!
The Mimeo Teach. And what does this do?
It does the exact same thing as any interactive projector. This is what is the driver between the computer and basically the projector. So you can just hook this to your wall and it comes off and you can move rooms and things like that, and then you can interact using the studio software.
And it comes with a pen like we saw in Cortney's, and it runs the same software, so you can create those interactive lessons that this will project out onto your screen and capture whatever it is that you're shooting up onto your screen.
Yeah.
Mimeo does make an interactive projector of their own. Most of the people in our district have been trained with Mimeo software because that's been the push. Desiree is our Mimeo expert, and so a lot of people through the district, because of her, have been trained in Mimeo. But with the introduction of these new projectors that came with Starboard, we had some very willing people who were who were eager to dive in and learn a brand new software. And one of those is Jim Noble, who is a 5th grade teacher at Bench Elementary.
You know that feeling when you're thrown into something brand new,
and not only do you not know where to start,
but there doesn't seem to be anyone around to ask? Many of us experienced that very feeling earlier this year when we were given the opportunity to learn a brand new software on a brand new piece of equipment. As a wonderful outcome of the recent elementary technology levy, the Billings School District was able to invest in 58 Hitachi interactive short-throw projectors. We'll meet Jim Noble. Jim is a 5th grade teacher at Bench Elementary. Through some trial and error, he discovered that his brand new projector came with a powerful suite of tools that allow students to interact with rich content and that allow Jim to bring abstract concepts to life. Jim's previous experience with Promethean in his former district not only gave him a solid background in the uses of interactive software, but it gave him a purpose in helping his students to learn in a more engaging way. So what can Starboard do? Jim explains.
What I did with my kids earlier is I went ahead and I copied and I pasted this onto my board, and it's just a YouTube video, and then go ahead and you can play the video. And then what I did is I went to menu, and then went to tools, and under tools, under subject toolbox, there's this really cool resource. It's under the math resource. It's called Math Toolbox US Custom Made. And when you get there, you can go ahead and create anything that you want, and we went ahead and we took pieces out of it. And I had them over here, and they had to actually grab and move. And so each one of these were starting out into 12ths. They were all solid here before.
So besides making really cool math lessons, what else has Jim done to capture his students' attention?
Mr. Noble, he will make the screen go pitch black, and if we're doing vocabulary with reading, he'll hide words, and then he has a spotlight tool where you just take the pen and you move it around the screen, and once you find the word, you have to say the definition. And it makes it a lot more fun than just like reading it and then going through a dictionary and trying to find.
I think this year has been really fun because we can interact, and when we learn, it's not just picking up a book and reading it. We can actually interact and have like a fun way to learn about it so you can remember it.
So you don't have to like sit down and keep reading the book. You can actually have fun.
It makes it easier for the kids who have to move like every 2 minutes. Me, because I don't like to stay still.
Besides some initial frustration, Jim has definitely found value in learning to work with this interactive technology.
Having interactive ability means I don't have to worry about too much behavioral problems while I'm doing it, because it keeps everybody engaged. It causes those students that need that high stimulation to be able to focus on something that is interactive, something that they know that, ooh, they're going to get an opportunity to come up here and do, so I'm going to pay attention so I get that opportunity. And the more things you do with it, the more they're really going to want to come up.
So what is Jim's advice for working through the frustrations of learning this or any new tool?
I think you have to be a risk taker. You have to be able to just do something and understand that you're going to mess up. And like I do in a lesson, my kids will be like, whoa, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that happens sometimes, it's okay, you know, and then they understand, they're patient with me. I think it's just exploring buttons. I mean, what would happen if I touch this button, for instance, or what happens if I do this, or what happens if I do this? You know, just start playing with it. But it's all about just kind of getting involved with it and, you know, doing what you can.
Be sure to look for training opportunities from your technology integration specialists, and feel free to just click around, because in Jim's words, you have to just do something and understand that you're going to mess up. And in the process, you might just come up with something really cool.
So we have looked at 2 different types of interactive projector systems. I think one thing that's really important for people to know is that smart boards are a brand. And then there's Mimeo brands, there's the Hitachi brand, and there's Promethean brand.
And probably others.
And probably, but those are the ones we're most familiar with. And Promethean is pretty prominent in our district. We've got a few schools that are just Promethean, and also some departments that just use the Promethean. Well, it's cool actually, because Promethean will actually match any purchase that a PTA makes. So Meadowlark chose to go that way so they could get twice as much bang for their buck. Also, Promethean has built-in speakers and comes with a board, which we've seen is a huge advantage because some of our whiteboards are old, they move, they're not in great shape. So the Promethean gives a great platform for the interactivity to work on.
Billings' own Meadowlark Elementary School is fortunate to have some incredible interactive technology in their midst. Thanks to the passage of the Elementary Technology Levy in partnership with a very proactive PTA, the building was able to invest in very cool technology. Meadowlark chose to go the route of installing Promethean interactive boards because the company touts its board's ability to create engaging and interactive learning experiences, focus attention and keep curious minds interested in content, and to foster collaboration as students work together simultaneously on a joint task. Meadowlark's principal, Stacy Lemelin, said that they have 9 boards right now and hope to purchase up to 7 next year. These devices, along with the Active Inspire software, which comes with the Promethean boards, were just like any new technology. Different, tricky at first, but that didn't stop any of those teachers, especially 4th grade teacher Julie Winkler, from diving right in. Here are some examples of how Julie uses her Promethean board on a day-to-day basis.
In the morning, when the students come in, I just downloaded this flip chart from Promethean, and they just choose hot or cold. It's just a fast, easy way for them to do lunch count. We were doing linking verbs yesterday. I use it a lot for math.
Luckily for teachers like Julie, who are new to this type of interactive whiteboard, the Promethean website has a large collection of teacher resources which allows teachers to access rich, engaging curriculum without creating lessons all by themselves.
Most of the time there's like a yellow, like a sticky note right here, and you click on that and whoever made it, and the directions will come up over here on how they recommend that to be used. And it will tell you everything, like drag the arrow, or click on this and a video will come up, or all those kinds of options will be given in the notes section. And there will be a yellow thing up here. And that's, so they're really easy to learn.
Julie also integrates the student response system to gather immediate feedback.
The flip charts oftentimes match, they have that, that offering right in there, or I can just throw questions out and have them like type them in like texting, or give them options.
What does a tech-savvy teacher usually do when having trouble with technology? Ask a kid.
The kids probably can do it even faster. I mean, they know right away when things aren't working. Yesterday the board wasn't working, and one of them knew to hover the pen above here just to kind of, I didn't even have to recalibrate it, but they know what to do. Sometimes when you click on these things, that will happen. They know exactly how to get rid of it. They'll help each other, which I love. It's really easy to change fonts and sizes and to erase them, and the kids catch on so fast.
So, how do these little experts feel about having this cool new system in their classroom?
In the morning, usually, last year we had to raise our hands for hot lunch and cold lunch, but now in the front of the room we have the Promethean board, and we can like drag our names up which side we're on.
Last year, she had to plug her computer into it and then shine it on the board, and all we could do was look. But now we can like play games on the computer, and then like she puts them on the projector, and then it goes onto the smart board, and then we can play them on the smart board.
Well, we use voters sometimes, and like you can just type in an answer and then just send it to a Promethean board.
We have like math. You get to go up there and like drag the answer down in the answer box.
Clearly, the students are engaged in new and exciting ways. It's a no-brainer that we can expect this excitement to grow as the school adds to its collection of digital creativity and innovation.
3 very cool systems, all of which are in play in lots of buildings,
Right.
lots of schools all throughout the district. But
Like the Mimeo Studio software the most.
Yeah.
And we have a collection of support for the Studio software because there is a large level of support with both Promethean and Mimeo.
And not just support, but as far as resources, when you go out to the Promethean site, the Promethean World, or the Mimeo Connect site, you can pull down resources that other people have created and not have to reinvent the wheel and make your own. So that's a good time saver.
Yeah.
So we promised that we would show you an iPad interactive tutorial. So what we've done is we did dueling iPads. I used a product called Airserver to project onto my computer, which in turn you would project up onto your screen. Shelly used a product called Reflector, which does the exact same thing. So we're going to do a side-by-side comparison for you of the way that they look and what they both do.
So on my screen, you can see what my iPad looks like mirrored in Reflector.
And on my screen, you can see the same thing, but you'll notice that I don't have the cute iPad-looking frame around mine as Shelly does. Mine is just a window.
Right. The other thing I noticed that's different is, boy, your icons are quite a bit bigger.
Ah, I can take the size of my window and shrink it down or make it bigger. So if I want it to be smaller, the icon smaller, I can make it look that way.
Yeah, and I don't have that option in Reflector.
I know for mine, I can turn it vertically.
Portrait? Yep, and I can do that as well. In Reflector, a huge thing is being able to set the password. Can you do that in Airserver?
Yeah.
Yep. And same here. I went to Reflector and Preferences to type in a password. This is extremely important so your students don't take over your screen.
What other options do you have there in your preferences? Let's compare
let's
those.
look here. I have launch full screen. I can change the color of the background. How about you?
I don't see anything like that unless it's in advanced. Nope. Mine is what you see is what you get.
Okay. I know here too you can change under device on my toolbar. I can not show that frame if I want to. I can also change the skin color to be white, silver, gray, whatever it might be.
So depending on the color of your device.
Right. Or the kid's device because you want it to look mostly like theirs.
Okay. And then let's open an app and see how it behaves.
Sure.
Which app shall we do that we both have the same?
Do you have EduCreations?
I do. I'm going to pull down my
search,
my spotlight.
And I love EduCreations so much that I actually have it on my toolbar.
I've had a lot of teachers ask about, can they, with an interactive device like a Mimeo projector, can they control the iPad from their board?
Oh.
And the answer to that is no. You can only control your iPad from the iPad. So the iPad ends up being an interactive device in itself.
Right.
One advantage with Airserver is that it's just a little bit cheaper, less expensive. Okay. Another thing is as far as the device that you have to run it on, this I know is 10.6 or higher.
Oh.
Whereas I think Reflector has to be a little bit higher version, 10.8.
10.8 for Reflector? Okay.
And we have that all on the spec sheet there where it compares, because another way to reflect your device onto your computer is with the adapter, the VGA adapter to the cord.
Which is, that VGA adapter is almost $40, I think now.
And one thing I think we should point out as far as both of these also is it's not an app. This, they're both called like the Reflector app, but it's actually a piece of software you install on your computer. Other than that, they do almost the exact same thing. It's just whichever one either you or your principal chooses to pay for you, or you decide to buy for yourself. If you had to pick or you got to pick, what would you pick?
Well, right now I'm really struggling with Reflector connecting, so I think I would probably try Airserver. How about you?
I feel the same way. I really, really like Reflector because of the way that it looks and the way you can share screen, but I've had some experiences lately where it's been very quirky, and I can't always get it to launch, where I haven't had any trouble with Airserver. So hopefully that will help.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a new winner of this show.
That's right. Yes. We want to congratulate last week's winner, Tracy Townsley.
Yes.
I delivered her prize to her. She was very excited.
Yes.
She was going to watch the Super Bowl and be able to have her computer run on her lap. So we'll have a fantastic prize for this week's winner. Watch for that.
Yeah.
Our next show?
Our next show, I think, is on assessments. Yeah. So we'll talk about different tools to assess our students.
Well, have a great couple weeks and watch for the debut of our new Technology Integration Specialist on the next show.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to be here.
Me neither. It's going to be great. So have a good week.